Hello there friends, CS News Live here, back with another update. In today's video, PGL officially announced a whole bunch of tournaments for 2025 and 2026. Aquarius got banned, Scream might be back to CS2, The Secret of Donk, and a lot of other interesting news, and as always, in the end, the results of BB Dacha group stage. Without further ado, let's get straight to it. Alright, we shall kick off this video with another scandal, this time from the Qualifiers in America. Now, we all know that CS isn't exactly the most popular game in that region, but honestly, I didn't think it was this bad. So, one of the players didn't show up for a match because he overslept. The Qualifiers. And we're not talking about some tier 2 or tier 3 player. No, it was none other than Freakazoid, a pretty well-known player who used to shine for Cloud9. Yeah, you heard it right, dude just slept through the match and his brother tried to wake him up. He did make it to the game later, but his team ended up losing. So I guess clearly this wasn't a top priority tournament for him. Now let's hop on to the neighboring region. Recently, the Brazilian CS legend Fallen dropped his tier list of best snipers in the game. In the S tier, he placed Simple, Device, Zaiwu and Monesi. As for himself, the Brazilian decided to go with A-list alongside Shiro, Brokey, KD and Jame and others. In the B tier, he got Sunpias, Cloud9's Icy, Complexity's Holzerk and others. By the way, our Twitter followers were the first to catch this news, so if you're not following us yet on this platform, make sure to head down to the comments and fix that mistake ASAP. Also, remember how in the last video we talked about the Parivision players got disqualified from the RMR and how the team filed an appeal to still make it through? Well, after some time, Perfect World, the tournament organizer, responded, saying that they're reconsidering their decision and will allow them to compete in the tournament. And obviously because of this, there won't be any rematches between Bleed, Monte and Koi. I think this might have something to do with another team being caught in the similar scandal and Valve just didn't want to ban two teams at once during the qualifiers. This decision from tournament organizers has once again split opinions in the community. For example, James Banks, who initially thought Valve was right to disqualify the team, now says that the ban was a weird move and only caused stress for the Parivision players, while giving false hope to the team's promised rematches. Bro, you gotta choose, and don't switch sides. Anyways, while the situation is definitely controversial, it's worth noting that the team really did show their skill level and deservedly made it to the tournament, so I guess it's all square now. Aside from the Parivision drama, one of the biggest stories recently has been the rumors and leaks about Niko's transfer to Falcons. And in a fresh interview, the captain of Team Falcons, Snappi, was asked if he knows about Niko's move. He simply responded that he can't comment on this. Now, does this mean Snappi knows everything but still can't spill the beans, or are the Falcons players themselves still in the dark about the roster changes? And Snappi also talked about when he wants to retire. The Danish captain mentioned that he still wants to play for a few more years and believes that players could soon be competing until they're 40 years old, so he's got a few more years before he hands up the mouse. And he also shared that he is aiming to win tournaments and majors, so the ambitions are in place. So, guys, what do you think? If Niko does join Falcons, do you think they've got a shot at winning a major? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Since we're on topic of top teams, we couldn't miss the chance to talk about the latest HLTV rankings update. And something interesting happened here. NaVi climbed back to the number 1, even though neither NaVi or Vitality have played any matches since IEM Cologne. There were also some changes in the top 5. Mouse moved up to 3rd place, while G2 dropped to 4th. The biggest shift in the rankings was Sungal, who jumped from 29th to 25th. There were also some small positive moves from Team Falcons and Pain, both climbing up 2 spots. On the other side, the worst drops were the Mongols, 9Z, Heroic, Aurora and M80. All of them dropped 2 places. And speaking of the top teams in the world, we couldn't miss out this cool chart from Reddit, which showed their permabans. It turns out that 8 teams of top 30 don't have any perma-bans at all and play on all maps, including Furia, Eternal Fire, BIG, 3D Max, Aurora, FlyQuest, Sashi, and Sangal. The most popular perma-ban is Vertigo, with giants like NaVi, G2, FaZe, and Liquid, and also others avoiding it completely. And the second most banned map is Inferno, avoided by Team Spirit, BB Team, Heroic, Team Falcons, and ENCE. The least perma-banned teams are Dust 2, Ancient, Mirage, and Anubis, with only 2 teams from the top 30 avoiding each of these maps. And it's pretty interesting to know what Valve thinks about it, because it seems like they don't have any plans to change the map pool, at least yet. Speaking of top teams, let's talk about top tournaments. PGL has already announced their schedule for 2025 and 2026. In 25, they're planning to host 5 tournaments in Argentina, Romania, Kazakhstan, Serbia, and China. For 2026, they've lined up 6 tournaments, which also will be held in Argentina, Kazakhstan, Serbia, Romania, plus Spain and Brazil. According to various sources, PGL is putting around $17 million into developing of CS2, over 2 years just on tournaments. Each of these tournaments have a prize pool of $1,250,000. And also, all of them will be LAN events, with matches in a best of 3 and the finals in best of 5. Another key moment here is that there won't be any qualifiers, I mean open qualifiers for the tournaments, making it kinda tough for regular players to get in. I remind you that Valve demanded to all the tournament organizers to invite teams to closed qualifiers only through their rankings. But at least we've got a lot of interesting and intense CS action in the next few years. So that's cool. Now let's step away from CS for a moment and talk about another Valve's game, Deadlock, because it's super hypey now. So what do pro players think about the new game from Valve, Deadlock? Simple mentioned that he wasn't really impressed, saying that shooting in the game feels way too easy, though he's not sure what to compare it to. On the other hand, the former CS player and now the streaming legend Shroud thinks it's the best third-person shooter he's ever seen. Just to remind you, Shroud has transitioned to Valorant and is now a content creator for Sentinels. And he's also building his own competitive game. Anyways, right now Deadlock's player count is steadily growing, but Valve wouldn't be Valve if they didn't run into some troubles. Players are already complaining about cheaters. And it's the alpha test, which started like a week ago. I'm curious to see how long will it take them to set up the new anti-cheat system within the game, although the developers promised to do it quickly. And since we're on topic of cheats, we just had to talk about the main guy breaking the game getting banned. Yeah, Aquarius got banned, but fortunately just on Twitch. The most interesting part is that the official reason for the ban is cheating in online games. But in reality, all he was doing is just showing Valve the problem areas to help improve the game. As of now, Aquarius has been still banned, and there's no official comments yet. But I guess we can sleep easy because he will still show new bugs, but on his Twitter or YouTube, not on live stream, so it's kinda okay. It's gonna be interesting to see if Aquarius gets unbanned, or maybe Valve themselves just got tired of him and asked Twitch to do it. Let's move away from bans and cheats and talk about comebacks. Recently, the CS legend, the headshot machine, Scream, mentioned that before he retires, he'd love to make a return to CS2. Just to remind you, since 2020 he's been playing Valorant only, where, let's be honest, he hasn't really achieved much in terms of big results. Scream also admitted that CS2 offers way more ways to express yourself in the game, and in CS you can single-handedly change the course of a match by your own insane plays, and that's what exactly Scream misses. However, he's hesitant to return to CS2 due to its current state, including the rampant cheaters and other issues with the game. Honestly guys, I'd love to see Scream back. Even if he doesn't perform at his peak, he'll always be a legend, and it will be always lovely to see him play. Hey, maybe G2 should pick him up instead of Niko? That'd be genius. And for a headshot machine, you need a fitting AK, and it feels like we've found just the right one. Recently, the most famous crafter in Counter-Strike history, Leafy, hit the jackpot with a trade-up contract. He got an AK-47 case hardened with a 661 pattern, aka the Blue Gem, with a float of .07, which is basically the perfect AK. Then he asked the fans to choose the stickers for it, and eventually he decided to go with 4 twin koi holographic stickers. The final price for this AK, including the stickers, is around $50,000. I wonder who will end up with this skin. I think it could be fun to let one of the players to use it at a major, or it might just end up in the hands of a lucky collector. We can't forget to mention the tournament currently happening in Serbia, the most chill and fun event of the season, BB Dacha. Just a couple of days ago, the group stage wrapped up with 4 teams advancing to the main event. Yuurih and Pain took the 2 top spots, while Eternal Fire and Falcons secured 3rd and 4th. Unfortunately, BB team, for whom this was practically a home tournament, were knocked out in last place, along with Aurora. What's more interesting is that 2 teams managed to get revenge for earlier losses during the group stage. In the first matches, 9Z defeated Falcons, but Falcons got back at them by eliminating 9Z from the tournament. Similarly, 9 Pandas brought down Furia, but Fallen and his squad took that personally. And then they sent 9 Pandas home. And listen to this, as for the playing stage, all matches except the finals are played in best of 3, while the finals in the playing stage were best of 1. But don't worry, the grand finals will be still a best of 5, just the way we like it. Now let's dive into the first matches of the main stage. First, Falcons met Team Spirit. The first map was Nuke, Spirit's pick. The game started out evenly, with Spirit taking the first 3 rounds, followed by Falcons going with 3 of their own. Then it was a back and forth, with both teams trading rounds, leading to an even score by the end of the first half. But in the second half, Spirit showed exactly why they decided to go with this map, taking 7 rounds, while Falcons managed to grab only 1. The match was also highlighted by an insane ace from Donk. It was truly unforgettable. Next, we move to Dust 2, Falcons pick. At first, it felt like we were still watching the second half of Nuke, as Spirit just dominated, taking 6 rounds in a row, and it seemed like they might shut their opponents entirely. But something shifted, and Falcons managed to scrape together 5 rounds on T-side, before the half ended. Though after the side switch, Spirit continued their momentum, taking 4 straight and looking to close it out. But Falcons fought back, answering with a 4-round streak of their own. Then Shiro stepped up with an incredible ace, bringing his team to match point. Falcons honestly did their best to resist, winning 2 rounds in a row and nearly pushing it to overtimes, but in the end, Spirit just held strong and secured the win. It was a miraculous performance by Donk. The next match was between Furia and Virtus.pro, starting on Inferno, Furia's pick. Right from the beginning, Furia showed what a stellar T-side looks like, winning 5 rounds, 4 of which forced VP to save their weapons. After a while, Virtus.pro finally woke up. They put up some resistance, managed to take it to the 7-5 scoreline. However, after the side switch, the only thing VP could win was a pistol round, and that was it. The game completely slipped out of their hands, and Furia capitalized on that, easily securing their map. The second map was Mirage, VP's pick. Although it seemed a bit more even, it was essentially another beatdown. The first half ended with the same 7-5 in favor of Furia. In the second half, VP only managed to secure the pistol round and 1 more before losing 6 in a row. And my friends, at this point it really feels like VP might be on the verge of falling apart, and the decision to pick up Electronic might have been a mistake. The third match was a showdown between Heroic and Pain, kicking off on Vertigo, Pain's pick. They won 8 rounds and left Pain no chance. What's even more impressive here is that after the side switch, Heroic continued to crush the Brazilian team, dropping only 1 round before taking nearly 5 in a row. Next, we moved on to Dust 2, Heroic's pick. And this time, obviously, the Brazilians wanted revenge. They kicked off with a rock-solid CT side, easily taking 5 rounds. Heroic responded with a streak of 3, and then both teams traded back and forth, leading to 7-5 in favor of Pain. After the side switch, the game got even closer, with both teams exchanging round streaks. But thanks to the advantage gained from the first half, Pain just pushed the match to the decider, and it was Nuke. Heroic started decently on T side, taking 3 in a row, but then lost 3. Next, they managed to grab only 1 round to give up 5 more in a row. By the time sides switched, their opponents had twice as many rounds. But now Heroic were on the stronger side, and they began strong, taking 3 in a row. But Pain answered with a 3 of their own, putting them just steps away from victory. Heroic managed to take only 1 more round, but Pain closed it out, as they secured their spot in the next stage. The final match of the day was Mouse vs Eternal Fire. Starting on Inferno, Eternal Fire's pick. At first, Mouse held their ground pretty well on City side, to be honest, taking a streak of 3 rounds, and they looked ready to keep the momentum going. But then Eternal Fire got back with almost 6 in a row, although Mouse rallied and managed to level the score. After the side switch, EF could only secure the pistol round and the follow-up, while Mouse went on a tear, winning 7 in a row. The last one was just a masterpiece, as despite being low on HP and in a disadvantaged position, Mouse still managed to clutch the round and take the map. Next was Nuke, Mouse's pick, and honestly, we could end it right here, because Mouse completely steamrolled Eternal Fire. In the first half, the Turks only managed to secure 2 rounds, and in the second, they barely took the pistol one. And that was it. A total domination from Mouse, leading to a 2-0 victory. All of this sets up some exciting matchups. Furia will face off against Team Spirit, Mouse will take on Pain in the upper bracket, meanwhile VP will play against Falcons in the elimination match, and Eternal Fire will battle with Heroic. And to wrap things up, since there will be a match between Furia and Spirit, we've got to mention that Yuurih recently named the player he thinks should be nominated for the MVP of 2024, and it's obviously Donk. According to Yuurih, Donk has shown everyone his incredible level of play and is also a genuinely great person outside the game. Yuurih mentioned that Donk is not only an amazing player but also a kind and a positive person in conversation. Alongside Donk, Yuurih also ranked Niko and Zaiwu in his top 3. And here we have to agree, Donk really deserves everything said. If you watch any of Spirit's vlogs, you can see how just positive and fun he is. And meanwhile, his in-game skill is absolutely insane. It's also hard to compare him to anyone else because in the past, MVPs were often snipers, but Donk is a rifler. I'm pretty sure Spirit will do everything they can to keep Donk on their roster. Friends, what are your top 3s? Maybe it's Niko number 1? Drop yours in the comments below. And guys, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and to follow our channel. And comment with whatever you like. I'm not saying goodbye for a long time. See you soon.